My mate Sneek, he was diagnosed with bladder cancer about the same time that I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, so we had a similar journey. In fact, he reported to me that he had blood coming out of his dick before I'd actually had my operation, so he might have even had it longer. Point being was he had an operation and it failed. He was hoping they were about to cut all the cancer out of his bladder, and it failed. They did a small operation. They gave him a therapy, which is actually where they put tuberculosis, believe it or not, into that region of his body, and that destroys the cancer. And it's quite often a very successful therapy, that, for treating that type of cancer, bladder cancer. Didn't work. So under the knife he went. And they were hopeful that they'd be able to remove the bladder and connect up the urethra right through, so he'd have a bladder made from the lining of his stomach, a reconstructed one was the operation was going to be. But as it turned out, the cancer had spread so far that it had actually gone right through his urethra, and they had to remove that as well, so there was nothing left, leaving him waking up after the operation with no bladder and a bag coming out of his, directly out of his kidneys. So I'm going to hold the phone as I get up my driveway because we're off a public road now. So that's a pretty horrific sort of thing for a man to go through. I don't understand the whole process of whether he lost his prostate or not. I think he did, but it pretty much strips you of everything down there. Now he has gone through his recovery amazingly. He has recovered like I've never seen anybody recover before. Partly because a number of reasons. One is because he's young, fit and very, very strong. But there's more to the story than just this, and this is something for you guys, you bros, to take on for when in your life you are challenged with a massive health challenge like Sneek was. And inevitably you will be. We're all of the nature, we're all going to get sick at some stage. In fact, we're all the nature of we're all going to get sick and we're going to die. And generally, it's something like cancer that kills us. Kills a fuckload of us humans every year. So, what happened? Well, he went through the process of being very, very sick after coming out of operation, because you go through that process of healing, and it's a slow, nasty process. And he got infection, like can happen, and that can really fuck you up. He got through that there, and in his own way did it. Very brave, excuse me, I'm just going to give my son a hug while I do this. Good to see it. I'll let Bruno out of the house. He had a great support network around him as well, including me. I created a Give a Little page, and I started off with a sum of money, and we raised over $10,000, but it wasn't the money. That wasn't why that was just because ACC didn't step up and do their job like they should have. It was because he had family around him. He had a wife that really supported him to the max. She was amazing. I really take my hat off to that woman, because the other thing she did was, as he started to get more well, she allowed him to engage in his passion, which is hunting. Pig hunting predominantly. He's a filthy pig hunter. And that's exactly what he did. I'm going to make a coffee while I'm talking to you. Is Spencer here yet, son? Is he here, is he? Is Spencer here, son? Oh, in the glass house. Oh, g'day, mate. Didn't even realise he's working out here. Jeez. This is work experience, and he's looking after the plants that he's done. Sorry, guys, didn't realise he. G'day, mate. How you going? Just doing a vlog for the Broadchik Club. And you're into it? Yeah. Put it there. Good to see you. G'day. I went hunting last night and found a really awesome place where I'm going to take you. You're going to love it, man. You're going to love it. It's freaking awesome. Well, you're pooing your kennel. You're not supposed to do that. Right, well, don't you bugger off. Come on, there you go. We're going to go and find Spencer. So, get out of there. Pace come. While I'm making a coffee, I will get through the story with you guys. Please excuse the craziness. That's just my life. So, he went hunting as soon as he could. But not only go hunting, he took young guys hunting with him. Young guys to help him out. But also it helped them out because it gave them some sort of purpose. And in doing that there, he slowly built up his strength. As he got stronger, He didn't sit around worrying about himself and thinking about poor me, I've lost this, I've lost that. I had lots of conversations with him. He helped people. He helped other people. He went up north and helped a person, one of his mates, shift house. That's a sort of job that nobody wants to do. He put his hand up and he gave food to people in his district, in his area, in his community. He fed people. He fed people. Here's a guy who's only just weeks, and he went way too early. I told him that, but hey, there's no telling, you can't tell Sneaky anything. And he was like putting pork on the table for not only his family, but all his friends and people around. And then he was out fishing, and he was sharing the fish. He was out there giving at a time when most people would be in pain, rehabilitation. So here's the message today. When you're in a shit place in your life, forget about yourself. Oh yeah, you're important, but there's people out there that are just as equally important. Put your energy into them. In the case of Sneek, he had a wife who supported what he did, and that's where he's a very blessed man. She was looking after the children and family, and she knew the importance of her man getting out there and hunting. He's a hunter. Through and through hunter, and a fucking good hunter. So she allowed him to go out there and engage in what he loves, his passion, but also his passion went beyond that, and it also put the food in the mouths of other people. People who couldn't afford to buy meat, people whose children otherwise would have just had the cheap shit. Here's the top grub. We're talking pure organic pork. And he knocked over deer with his mates. He went everywhere and engaged in so many people and didn't just sit round feeling sorry for himself. And he had plenty to feel sorry for. When you're a man and you get an operation down there, it fucking strips you. And when you're a young man, like Sneek would only be, I'm guessing he's 40. To have that happen to a man that young and to lose that part of your life, that is one of the parts of life. Well, let's face it, there's very few things in this life that are real fun to us, that are real quality, real joy. Most of the things that are real joy to us are the love of our children, or the love of our partner, or the love of our family, the food that we eat, maybe the music we listen to, our hunting, our fishing, the sports we engage in, our passions. But a good part of life is struggle. A good part of life is just head down, grinding, paying bills, doing day-to-day mundane chores, pulling weeds out of the garden, fixing broken things, thinking about problems that need solving. A good part of life is actually, it's not all just fun. So sex for a man and for a woman is one of those few real joys. We have real joy. To get that part of you robbed from an operation like that so you can live and then adopt the attitude that he's adopted is why he's healing so well, is why his rehabilitation has gone so rapid, is why he's in such a good headspace, because he hasn't sat back just going, oh, poor me. He's actually been, right, this is what I've got to work with now, let's get on with it and let's see what's the best we can get out of it. So that's today's story. Sorry guys, it's all broken up and all over the place. I'm not doing great. These are what I call snap vlogs. They're off the phone, they're in real time, and I hope you've got something from that. And if you're entering into a battle with cancer or heart disease or diabetes or anything, take a leaf out of Sneek's book. Go outside of yourself and see what you can do for your community around you, and you'll find suddenly that your problems and everything that's going on with you, you're not focusing on it anymore, and you'll feel a fuckload better. I've never ever been happy thinking about my own problems. If I stopped, I'd be fucking miserable. I'm not miserable though, because today I've got this 14-year-old man out here who I'm going to look after now. In fact, he's looking after me. He's watering my tomatoes. We planted those, but we're going to spend some day working with him, and that takes me away from me, because I'm not ever wanting to sit down and just think about me all day, because that's like, fuck it, what's there exciting about me? Way more fun to watch a young guy build, become better, become stronger, and plant some good stuff into him so he goes forward in his life, because he's missed out on a lot of that opportunity not having a dad himself. That's what it's about, going outside yourself, extending yourself. That's the key to being happy. That's why I'm content. and happy. Ghost Daddy, I'll see you in the next video. Right, time for coffee. Coffee!